last night, Republicans managed to fumble the ball yet again, with all eyes on the House floor for the Alejandro Mayorkas impeachment vote that happened just before this show started last night. 3 Republicans killed an opportunity to send a very powerful message to the traitor who took the job of protecting our national sovereignty and did just the opposite. If Alejandro Mayorkas doesn't deserve to be impeached, the question is, who does? Mayorkas is an arsonist posing as a firefighter. And last night, Ken Buck, Tom McClintock, and Mike Gallagher decided to give him a pass, either because they want an open border to satisfy corporate donors, or perhaps this was personal, a rebuke of the new Republican Party that these 3 hate. The group that ousted their friend Kevin McCarthy, the group continually fighting to rein in a Washington, D.C. machine that is fighting back as hard as it possibly can. Earlier today, Tom McClintock from California tried to give this reason for his vote last night.
That Constitution very clearly lays out the grounds for impeachment. This dumbs down those grounds dramatically and would set a precedent that could be turned against the conservatives on the Supreme Court or a future Republican administration the moment the Democrats take control of the Congress.
So just a reminder, the Democrats that he claims he's worried about emboldening impeached Trump in 2019 for asking Ukraine's president to investigate a valid corruption scandal inside his country. A scandal Washington knew was real. McClintock wasn't worried about lowering the threshold for a weaponized impeachment. He knows that's already happened. Last night's Mayorkas vote was a middle finger to MAGA. That's really what it was, from the dying establishment Republican caucus, a caucus that was nearly duped again by Democrats and a negotiated border agreement that would have rebranded 1.8 million illegals pouring into your country every year from certifiable disaster, which is what it is now, to standard operating procedure, and given Biden political cover for the atrocities that he and Mayorkas have committed against your country for the last 3 years. Today, Chuck Schumer tried to save the Democrats' dream bill, and even Mitch McConnell voted against it. A sign of the times in the Republican Party, movement in the right direction, for sure. So now Democrats have lost their leverage, though. They wanted to use the border and also Israel to force Republicans to send more money to Ukraine. Last night, Republicans tried a standalone bill for Israel, and Speaker Mike Johnson explains exactly what happened to that.
They blocked the funding. Let's be clear about this. That bill provided exactly the amount of funding that the president himself had requested. It was $14.3 billion that we passed 3 months ago. And then we added to it to replace our stockpiles and our munitions on what's happening in that region. There is no reason whatsoever for them to object to the contents of that bill. They're doing it for political purposes.
They turned down a standalone Israel bill for the exact amount of money that they wanted, because they need Israel to carry the less popular Ukraine. They can't split them up. Israel is the last hope for leverage after Republicans sniffed out their border scam. In truth, a real border security bill would have delivered the trio, but it came with the pesky downside that Democrats didn't want, actually having to close down the border. They couldn't do that either. Today, Customs and Border Protection announcing 1 million illegal encounters since the beginning of fiscal 24. That was October 1 of last year. It's a new record, 1 million in 4 months. Chaos for the benefit of one political party. And Chuck Schumer still refuses to bring the House Republican border bill, called H.R. 2, to the floor, a bill requiring construction of the wall to continue and other real tactics that'll actually work. Schumer won't even allow it to be voted on because it would actually fix an open border that they want, one that they created. No, they wanted a fake border scheme to get their money for Ukraine. But Republicans figured it out. Trump, in reality, figured it out. And now, after the scheme was exposed, Biden is threatening to travel the country campaigning on immigration. Joe Biden is going to campaign on strong immigration this year. The man who had the popcorn out for the last 3 years, watching his invasion, his invitation to bring in his future voters, watching all of that cripple the country, even left-wing Democrat mayors screaming for help, being ignored by the White House. That man is going to traveled the country trying to sell himself as strong on immigration. And now he's saying this.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.